if I just use this as our relationship as an example, right? Like a fractal, that if I start limiting your freedoms, Claude, like you can't go out, I start telling you what you got to wear. You're either going to knuckle under and do as you're told, or you're going to resist. You're going to find ways to evade being oppressed.
Hello and welcome to Crypto Interviews. My name is Claudio and this is Crypto Exchange, the channel that brings you crypto news, reviews, tutorials, and interviews with a major focus on the .sama or Polka Sama ecosystem, whichever way you want to call it. And joining me today is Crypto Rich, whose channel I've been on, and we've known each other for quite some time during the bear market, to be fair. We've been on each other's channels. I actually hasn't been on my channel, actually. This is the first time that he's on my channel, but I've been on his channel a number of times. We spoke about different things, including the decentralized video streaming platform, BitTube, etc. But he's joining us today to talk a little bit about his crypto past, how he got started, his journey, and also privacy coins, because this is something really interesting. And then in a different video, we're going to talk about a private VPN, which is a decentralized VPN, in fact, which is something that's, I'm not so sure if it's unique, but he's going to tell us more about that. Maybe it is unique, and that's what we're going to find out from him. He's the expert. So Rich, welcome. And if you could please just quickly introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about how you started in crypto. When did you first start and what cryptocurrency did you buy?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, Claude, thank you so much for having me on. And it's great recording with you again, because we just did a video a few days ago, which has been on my channel, parts 1 and 2, introducing my community to Polkadot and Kusama ecosystems.
Absolutely.
So I've been running my channel since April 2017. And pretty much I post most days of the week, 5, 6, 7 days of the week. And I covered all the way, I posted all the way through the bull market, all the way through the bear market. I work as a child protection social worker. I do that part-time, and I spend too much time on crypto and on my YouTube channel, because it is both social work and this is a labor of love.
Like many of us in the community. Yeah, we're all crypto obsessed, and we bring it to our friends and families all the time, don't we? We always have to bring in the conversation.
We do. And I must give a shout out to my fabulous, wonderful cousins, some of whom work in banking, because in 2013, I told them about Bitcoin. And they didn't do anything until the bull run of 2017. And then they were upset when it crashed down to 3,000.
Oh, yeah, they got caught right in the dump.
I just hung in there. But it's all come good now. But there are other cryptocurrency projects that I've recommended to them, and they've watched from the sidelines. I've done a lot of work in terms of personal training and development and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'd put it this way, Claude, right? Supposing you and I were to sit and have a coffee for a couple of hours, we meet up, have a coffee, and we're talking about each other and our lives, and just sharing with each other. You'd be able to see things about me that I can't see. Yeah. And I'd be able to see things about you that I can't see, that you can't see. So you could point out things to me, but I may not listen, or they may not register, or they may not make sense, or I might refute them. The training that I've been engaged in for many, many years is designed for people to have insights about themselves.
Wow.
If I see something about myself, so, oh my God, that's what's going on. It registers. I can't ignore it. I've seen it. So in
self-awareness, right? Self-awareness.
Yeah. Like what's hidden from my view? What are my blind spots that I'm blind to? What can I not see about myself? How come in the area of money, I always operate like this, in this sort of pattern, sort of pattern. And
selling too early, for example, that's the drug that many have. Like I suffer from that myself as well. And I think this is the one that it's very difficult to fight against. I actually find it as a struggle. I don't know if I need some kind of a special psychological lessons or something.
It's not psychological. It's ontological. The work that I've studied, which is all about the study of being. Like how do I be? How come I be the way that I am? How come I am the way that I am? Yeah. And then how you are with money, right? Like, if you look at it closer, you'll discover patterns. And one of the things I saw for myself, it didn't matter how much money I was earning, I always had the experience of being impoverished. Never had enough money, never had enough money, never had enough money. So I did this course about money, about being successful with money. And it wasn't like, oh, invest in stocks. It was, oh, this is how you rent out property, or this is how you get, savings and stuff like that. It wasn't that. It was, what is it about me and money that's hidden from my view? I don't know, because I can't see what I can't see. But it got me thinking. And one of the things I realized during this weekend course is I don't know the first thing about money. I wasn't taught it at school, right? I don't know where it comes from and who decides what's what. So then what I decided to do out of the course is I took on a project to go and learn about money. So I'm a social worker. I'm not trained in finances or anything. So all of a sudden I'm discovering about fractional reserve banking. And then I learn about the value of gold and silver and bonds and how the money markets work and all of this. And then along the way, and I'm discussing with my cousins, the bankers, because some of this stuff I don't understand. I mean, I still don't really understand how bonds work, right? They're upside down to me. They don't make any sense, but I know they're vital and important.
Yeah.
So I came across this thing called Bitcoin. This was late in 2012 when it was about $5 each. And there wasn't a lot of information about. I didn't know how to find information about it. And my wife and I thought, okay, well, let's throw some money at it, and enough that we can afford to lose. Like if we lose it, no big deal. Yeah. And I bought my first Bitcoin off a guy in a pub in my city. I found him on local Bitcoins. I didn't know how to keep it or store it. And we did it. We met in a local pub. I gave him cash. I had my computer. He set me up with a wallet. He sent me the Bitcoin. And then I just kept buying and buying and buying. And at some point, my wife and I decided, okay, that's enough. The mistake we made was we stopped too soon. We should have kept going, right? But we didn't know. So my first Bitcoin cost me $15. And
so about 10 pounds at the time, no?
Yeah. And then I forgot about it, right? And then in 2015, I went and had a look and like, oh, it's gone up quite a bit. And then I got a bit more interested and started looking into it. And then late in 2016, I bought into ETH and Monero and Dash. And then I was thinking, how can I get into crypto? How can I get into, and I also bought some Litecoin. Well, actually I bought some before that. I bought some more Litecoin and some other coins like Feathercoin, and I kept them on exchanges, BTCE and Cryptsy, no more, crypto gone, all my crypto gone on those exchanges. And then I was thinking, in early 2017, how can I get involved in this industry? What can I do? What can I do? And then it came up the idea of the YouTube channel. And I just started making videos and asking my cousins and other family members and friends just to turn up and view and like and make a comment. And it slowly, slowly grew. And I figured the audience is so large. It's so large on YouTube, right?
Yeah,
that somebody somewhere is actually going to be vaguely interested in what I have to say, in my point of view, to subscribe, like, and comment and come back again.
Yeah, it's true, especially because you're doing such a niche market. And just to kind of switch to that now, like, why is it that? Because since I've been watching some of your videos, I've noticed that your focus has swifted towards privacy now. So you when you initially started, you said you got Bitcoin, you got Ethereum, Litecoin, but I know that you also got into Electronium. No, you used to talk about them quite a lot. So was that like your biggest holding in terms of altcoins, would you say? No. When you seriously got into crypto and you started to learn more?
Well, in the 2017, I was just caught up with the whole thing. This ICO, that ICO, some went to nothing. Some have done very well. Some have just gone along like this. Some I sold, some I've still got some Electronium. I covered Electronium a lot. It was getting me a lot of views and I was very excited by what the project was up for. And also they're not far away from where I live. So I went to the offices and Richard L's, he's just a great guy as well. Wow. He's just a really great guy. Just always enjoyed talking to him. And then during the bear market, I wanted to carry on doing this because I could see the long-term vision. But I think there's two things. One is the kind of work that I do, or the kind of person that I am, I'm interested in long-term relationships. That's what I do as a social worker. I build long-term relationships with families. And then what I figured I would do is I would get connected to small projects. Yeah. And some small projects reached out to me. I was like, okay, well, they're available. They're available. These are quality projects. I'll hang out with them. And perhaps when they're the size of Ethereum or Bitcoin, they'll still remember me. Well, I'll have a relationship with them, and I'm connected to the community, and the project's connected to me. And also along the way, I got very, very interested in privacy, because I think without privacy, there is no freedom. There's no freedom without privacy. And some people say, well, if you've got nothing to hide, well, fair enough. If you are one of those people who think, you've got nothing to hide, please send me your bank account details and the password and the login, because you've got nothing to hide. I'm just going to have a look. Right? Send me your email address with the password to your email. I'm not going to take anything. I'm just going to have a look. You've got nothing to hide. And those kind of people, I bet when they go into the bathroom, that, please leave the door open because you've got nothing to hide. It is like with privacy. Like I got to be able to, like you and I, Claude, we got to be able to exchange and interact and exchange communication just between you and I in a consensual relationship, with your permission and my permission, with nobody else around. It's up to us. And the other thing for me about privacy is that without privacy, there's no creativity. There's no creativity without privacy, because unless I can withdraw from public space and discourse and have the freedom to generate new ideas in partnership with somebody else or even myself, then I'm not going to be able to create anything. And one of the things about totalitarian governments is they clamp down on privacy, because what it does, it crushes innovation and the emergence of new ideas. So without privacy, there is no freedom. And there's a few projects that I got connected with that are both members of the Blockchain Privacy, Security and Adoption Alliance. This is a group of projects. There's 9 projects currently that work together. They collaborate, they share ideas, they share resources to support each other in furthering privacy and security among blockchain projects. And one of the ways they do that, they share their social media of over 300,000 plus social media accounts. So Komodo is one of the members of the BPSAA. So they do a video or they do a tweet, then the other BPSAA members will tweet that out. Several of the members on the BPSAA have got DEXs. So they're slowly putting all the other coins and tokens of the BPSAA onto their respective DEXs. There's also, I've got to say that this is a little plug, if I may, right? And if you can see this, this is the Apollo wallet, which uses the most secure element that I know of in the cryptocurrency sphere.
Is that like a hardware wallet with a
hardware wallet? With a really, really secure wallet, EAL 6+, I think, if I remember correctly, or 6. Very, very secure. And they're partners of the BPSAA, and I have an affiliate link in the description below if you want to check this out. Gives you 20 euros off the price.
Awesome. So, but talking about privacy, because you've mentioned that, right? You've got privacy. Obviously, that's good because you're hiding your transactions, right? You're keeping your transactions private. You're keeping your information private, your funds, everything. But we know that there's going to be government crackdown on privacy. Like, for example, we've spoken about Calamari, which is a project that I'm now supporting, which is conducting a crowd loan on Kusama. We've discussed that on your channel. And many people watching my channel now like Calamari as well. They've contributed tons of Kusama to it. But the issue that we've got there is that exchanges are actually refusing to list it. Like, for example, Kraken is an exchange that's supporting the crowd loans on Kusama, but they've refused to add Calamari just because it's a privacy coin. And the legal team said, no, we're going to step away from that. But they've got Monero on there. So it doesn't make any sense. It's ironic. You've got Monero, but you're not going to list Calamari. I mean, what was the story there? So how do you manage, like, how do you see the future of privacy coins from this regard, with government crackdown, with more regulations coming, and also with the money laundering situation? Because to be honest, it does give, the free hand to money laundering, and I'm not going to say criminals because that could happen with fiat, right? But with money laundering, it's definitely easier to do with privacy. So how do you think that's going to be managed?
We're just on that in terms of money laundering and criminal behavior. Human beings are going to engage in criminal behavior wherever they are, in every sphere of life.
Yeah.
Right. And I deal with child abuse that happens in impoverished, poor households and communities. And I've also dealt with child abuse that happens, with people that are millionaires. right? It's just human nature. Human beings are going to do what human beings do. And I think there's a particular dynamic. Like, for example, if I just use this as our relationship as an example, right? Like a fractal, that if I start limiting your freedoms, Claude, like you can't go out, I start telling you what you got to wear. You're either going to knuckle under and do as you're told, or you're going to resist. You're going to find ways to evade being oppressed in order to assert your own autonomy and sovereignty. And I think it's just going to happen. It happened in East Germany. It happened in the Soviet Union. It's going to happen now. People are going to discover and create ways in order to preserve their own autonomy and their own sovereignty. It's just human nature. It happens in schools. I was a very naughty kid at school. I mean, there's all these rules and everything. I just want to play. I just want to have a good time with my mates. So I created ways, like all kids do, of evading and avoiding all those rules, that oppressive environment of school. Oh, and by the way, Claude, I don't know if I told you, but my kids have never been to school. They're home educated.
Yeah, you were saying before. Yeah. So that's all about freedom. It's all about freedom. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's innate to us, right? That I got to have, as a human being, got to have agency over my own life. I got to be able to make the determinations and decisions and actions that I got to take in order to take care of myself and my family and those near and dear. And I think that's for everybody. Every human being is like that, which is why tyranny can never prevail. It can't last. We always break free. Sometimes it takes longer than I would like.
Yeah.
But by the way, whatever's going on right now it's not going to sustain. It's not going to sustain. It is not going to sustain. The tide is turning. Just want to put that in there. And by the way, I'm on YouTube. I'm on Odyssey, bittube.tv, bittube.video, and I do videos on Odyssey, bittube.tv and bittube.video that aren't on YouTube, which are more about the kind of politics and also what you're dealing with certain health issues.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the links can be found in the description of this video if you are interested to check them out. So now let's move on and talk about the Pirate Chain. So how did you get started with Pirate Chain? Because that's apparently the biggest, biggest privacy-based project after Monero and Zcash.
Not after Monero, but even before Monero. So I can't talk about privacy and a privacy cryptocurrency without talking about Monero. You know, Monero is a great privacy project.
Yeah,
and
it's the king of privacy, isn't it? I mean, just like Bitcoin is the king of the rest of crypto, right?
Yeah, in terms of its privacy and what it's done, its market cap, it's the biggest one. However, along comes Pirate Chain, and Pirate Chain is way more private than Monero. And there's a couple of things about Monero. Monero has an infinite supply. The program is, the algorithm is that there's always going to be a little bit of Monero being produced. Always. So in the long term, it's inflationary. Pirate Chain is deflationary. We're about to have a halving any moment now, and it's going to go from 16. I think it's going to go from 32 to 16 or 16 to 8, one or the other. I can't remember, but it's on the Pirate Chain website, which is pirate.black. One thing I got to say is I'm actually a member of the Pirate Chain team. I'm a first mate, very proud to be on the crew of Pirate Chain. It's completely decentralized project. There's no company behind it. There's no team fund. There's no dev fund. You know, when we want to get listing on an exchange, and I'll come to what you said about exchanges, we ask for donations and people from the community donate, and that's how we pay for our listing fees.
Wow. What happened? But do the exchanges list you? Do the exchanges, are they okay with listing?
Yeah. And there's more coming. So we're on Trade Ogre and a few others that I can't remember. I think GraviX and stuff, but again, on the website, people can have a look. Trade Ogre, I think, has got one of the largest, volumes, right?
Yeah.
And I'll come to the exchanges. Actually, let me deal with the exchanges now. So one of the things that's going to happen is, and I mentioned the decentralized exchanges that are part of the BPSAA. There's the Turtle Network DEX. Polarity Exchange have a DEX, and they're partners to the BPSAA, so that's 2. Burst Coin, which is now Signum, they have a DEX. They're going to be listing Pirate Chain. Ogo Platform is one of the BPSAA members. and they're launching their own DEX, and they're going to be listing Pirate Chain. And then the one that I'm really, really excited about, because it's a live, I think it's just great. This one is Komodo Platforms Atomic DEX. Now, this is a true atomic swap DEX. So not like Change Ellie or Change Now, which is an escrow service, or Exodus, which is really an escrow wallet. You know, when you send your coins, they're held by another exchange while the transaction's happening, then they come to you. Yeah. Now, this is true atomic swap. You send me Bitcoin, I send you ETH. So it's cross-chain atomic swap.
Yeah.
Transaction, no.
It uses a liquidity pool, I guess, no? It's got a liquidity pool.
No, it's fully peer-to-peer, no liquidity pool.
Okay. It either how does it determine the price difference between the...
There's an order book. It
uses an oracle, no? An oracle solution.
No, there's an order book. Sometimes the prices are a little bit higher because it's got low liquidity right now. They're still developing it. So you and I, we work out on the Atomic DEX exchange, the price. You send me your ETH, I send you my Bitcoin. The transaction goes through for both of us, or it doesn't go through at all. Yeah. Fully peer-to-peer, cross-chain atomic swaps, true atomic swaps. And you can't do that with Pirate Chain, because Pirate Chain, you cannot look inside the wallet and there's no data on the blockchain. Nothing. It's a proof of work coin, so it's mined. Yeah. So from the miner to the first wallet, that's the only transaction you can see. And that's to make sure that the miners aren't printing more pirate than more R, ARRR, which is the ticker symbol, that they're not printing more. But once it goes into that wallet, that's it. You don't know what's inside the wallet. You don't know if any's been sent out, when it went sent, how much got sent out, who it's got sent to. There's nothing. It's blank. It's invisible.
So if you try to send something and there's a problem on their blockchain, there's no blockchain explorer, so you can't track anything.
There is a blockchain explorer. You just can't see anything on it.
Okay. So you can't even see that your transaction has left, even though your amount is obfuscated.
No, I can, because I can see it in my wallet that it's gone.
Okay. So you can see in your wallet that it's left with a specific block, right? But it's obfuscated. You don't know the amounts.
Oh, I know the amounts because I've sent it out, right? And
sorry. I mean, somebody else, if they were to look at the transaction, they cannot see the amounts are obfuscated, no?
Yeah, there's no data to analyze.
Okay,
no data.
Perfect.
It uses ZK Snarks, which is a superior technology to Monero's ring signatures. So there's no data to analyze, but that's a problem with atomic swaps. But Komodo are working on the atomic DEX, and at some point in the next few months or so, they're actually launching atomic swaps. Atomic swaps, right?
Which is a way of Pirate Chain.
That's right, of incorporating Pirate Chain. So Pirate Chain will be on that DEX. Now, the atomic DEX doesn't require any KYC. You can download it. It works on iOS, Android, and desktop, and Linux as well, right? So it's completely anonymous. So what are they going to do? What are the authorities going to do? Shut down decentralized exchanges. And more of these exchanges are going to get created as people get more and more rigorous about preserving their freedom. So that's the exchanges. Now, what they did in 2018, August 2018, is they released the code. What happened was a few Komodo developers were wondering, is it possible for every transaction to be protected by ZK Snarks? So some privacy coins like Zcash or Dash, they're not really private because privacy is an option. So then, for example, you might have 10 transactions, but only 2 of them are private. So you got 8 that are visible. And what happens over time, it's possible through data analytics to work out what the private transactions are and where they're going through a process of elimination. And you can't do that with Pirate Chain because every single transaction is protected by ZK Snarks. It's completely private, apart from the 2 people that are engaging in it.
And Calamari is also going to use ZK Snarks. I think most of these new privacy coins that are coming out now are going to use ZK Snarks, aren't they?
No,
because it's so private, so it's so good. You really can't track it.
The issue is, I mean, Zcash uses ZK Snarks, but it's optional.
Yeah. So
it's not that private. That's the thing, right? And then there's a thing called, what's it called? The phrase is anonymity set. That's it.
Yeah.
There's an anonymity set, which is a way to gauge the privacy of a particular cryptocurrency. So if you think of you got a needle,
Yeah.
you have to find the needle in a haystack. So if you think of the haystack as the anonymity set,
Yeah.
now I think Monero has an anonymity set of 12. Now, I might be wrong here, in which case people can correct me in the comments, has an anonymity set of 12, which is like you've got 12 blades of straw and a needle. Now find the needle. Well, if you've got 12 blades of straw, it's easy to find the needle. Pirate Chain's anonymity set, when I last looked, was 530,000. And it keeps increasing with every transaction, Now go find that needle inside a pile of 530,000 straws. The other thing about Pirate Chain is that it's completely resistant to double spend attacks. Every transaction are hashed every 10 minutes onto the Komodo blockchain, and then they're hashed onto the Litecoin blockchain. So you need 51% of Pirate Chain, 51% of Komodo, 51% of Litecoin, just to do a double spend attack on Pirate Chain.
Yeah.
Well, if you've got 51% of the computing power of Litecoin, well, good for you. Just be happy with your Litecoin.
Exactly.
Because you could add more to, you could add 51% Komodo and 51% Pirate Chain to get Pirate Chain. You might as well get 51% of your Litecoin, be happy with that, and go to an exchange and buy some Pirate Chain.
Exactly. No, interesting. And it definitely helps because you can learn more about privacy this way and understand how things are going to work. And but I'm actually curious, like how can somebody actually manage, because now, like for tax purposes and stuff, when you withdraw to cash out to fiat, I mean, I don't know in the UK, but in some countries, like in Europe, we're quite okay. But I know in the US, it's quite strict, right? Whereas you need to provide them with a list of transactions of where the source of the funds came from. So it's not just a matter of you cashing out the euro and paying tax on the euro that you cashed out, or the pound or whatever. You actually have to provide a list of the transactions of how you did the swaps and all that. So how do you manage this with privacy? And how do you tell them that these are my funds?
Yeah, the wallet, if I've got the private keys, my crypto, the wallet can list the transactions that have happened.
Yeah.
And also, if I go to certain exchanges like TradeOgre or some of the others, you get a transaction history, which you can then make available for tax purposes in your particular locality.
Okay.
So that's
so there is an option. There is an option. It's not completely hidden to put you in trouble and have problems with tax fraud.
Well, if you and I were in the UK, or if I was where you are, right, and you and I did a cash deal, I came to your house and I did some painting, and then you gave me 200 euros or something.
Yeah.
Well, I got to declare that, even though it's just you and I. It's a private transaction. So what you've got with Pirate Chain, and to a lesser extent some of the other privacy coins, is fully private peer-to-peer transactions, just like cash, but it's digital. That's all it is. And one other thing I want to say about the privacy coins, there's the there's the Mimblewimble coins, Grin and Beam.
I haven't heard of them in a long time. To be honest, I haven't followed, but I remember there was a lot of hype during the bear market when Grin listed, because that was considered like the new Bitcoin because it was anonymous, etc. But it was so complex to manage the transactions, to keep the data alive, because you had to send a specific, what was another file? It was like a HTTP request or something. It wasn't just like a send to this address. You actually had to go through some other steps.
Yeah, well, one of the things I know about them is you have to expose your ISP. So if I'm going to send you a Grin or Beam, both of us have to be online at the same time, which is not the case with Bitcoin or ETH or Pirate Chain or Monero. The other thing is that they're not, while there's no data on the blockchain for those coins, they're not resistant to 51% attacks. So Pirate Chain is the most secure, and it's the most private of all the cryptocurrencies. Now, it first listed in, can I just share my screen and we'll have a quick look at the price chart? Because I want to talk to you, because I'm coming back to talk to you about another privacy project. Okay, can you see this okay?
Yeah.
Let me put that right down. Okay, so this is the Pirate Chain price chart. It first listed on Coin Paprika, I think in November 2018, for about, what was it? No, that's not right. Let me have a look. It was about 4 cents, I think, when it first listed. When it launched, it was a penny. its first price, which was August 2018. And then it had this massive pump last year because the dollar vigilante, Jeff Berwick, they recommended it to their subscribers. So it actually went up to about $17.
Wow.
And
Oh
now
my,
it's kind of
that's such a huge ROI.
Yeah.
Holding this for 2 years would have given you a huge, huge ROI.
Yes. And now it's looking bearish in the short term because
it looks like it's pulling back quite significantly now. It's going to touch support. There's a bit of a support around 250 now, 250. So that's it's holding. We'll have to see if it holds.
Right? But this might be a good time. I'm going to be buying some more, by the way. This might be a good time to dollar cost average in or something. Pick up a little. But after somebody's done their own due diligence, also the RSI looks like it's oversold. It's way at the bottom here. So this could be a good time to pick up. That's on the daily chart. But I think as a long-term play, and really I think that's critical for people in crypto, especially when there's a bull run like we're in, right? And altcoin season, because the temptation is like to FOMO in and buy this now and buy the next coin that's going to moon and stuff. No, you got to take a longer-term view that if you buy this or any other coin that you think has quality, a good team, a good use case, you want to hold on to it for at least 4 years and go through a whole cycle, because it's going to be something else.
I mean, the next massive bull cycle that we're estimated to have based on historical data is in 2024 with the next Bitcoin halving, right after the next Bitcoin. We're talking 6 to 8 months after the halving, because that's when the last event happened, when the pump happened, right, which triggered the bull market. And then 4 years before that, it was also around 6 to 8 months after the halving. So, history tends to repeat itself when it comes to these halving events, because I think that's when we're going into the media, we're going to mainstream and stuff. But now we're definitely more mainstream than we used to be with NFTs and all this, right? So I think that it's definitely going to be interesting to see if we're going to go into a bear market. So I'm actually going to close this off with a question for you. When do you think we'll see the bear market, and do you think it's going to be as brutal as the 2018, 2019 one?
I don't know. I'm a social worker. I don't know. At some point, I imagine it will begin some point next year.
Yeah. You don't think it's going to happen this year? You think this year is going to be solid? We're going to have pumps, maybe some pullbacks, but it's going to be...
I think Bitcoin has got a while to go. I think Bitcoin's going to touch at least $100,000. I don't know if it's going to happen this year, but certainly before any sort of long-term bear market. I think.
And do you think the next bear market is going to take as long as the last one, like 2 years? Or do you think now with the mainstream adoption, all this, so many artists, so many celebrities talking about crypto, companies interested in cryptos, like the question is, do you really think deep in your heart that we're going to see a 2-year-long bear market? Because to me,
Lord, I don't know.
You don't know.
I haven't given it much thought. I'll have a better idea, suppose nearer the time. I don't know.
No, this is just a question on my mind, because I'm actually struggling to think about what could potentially happen. How should I play the game? At the end of the day, I always think to myself and to other people, I always say that, we should try and get some stable coins, because you never know when it's going to happen, how long it's going to last, right? Even if we're bullish, you should have those stable coins, because you've seen what happened when we had the massive crash from 60K to 26K. Wouldn't you have loved to have some stable coins to get in cheap?
But I don't have any expertise in that. I don't have any confidence in that. I don't trade. I use a Shrimpy trading bot. So I don't know, right? But here's what I think is really smart, at least that I've done, and I'm going to be doing, is I'm going to be picking up more Pirate Chain. And I think also people should come back and watch the second part, because I'm going to talk about this other privacy-focused cryptocurrency, which I think is really, really important for preserving our freedom as well. That's what I will say.
Absolutely. Yes. So do check out the next video that me and Rich are going to be doing to discuss about the VPN, decentralized VPN, actually, which maybe you're going to find interesting. So Rich, I'd like to thank you very much for joining, and I'll see you in the next video very shortly. And as always, just a reminder, if you didn't subscribe to this channel, please make sure you are subscribed and like the video if you enjoyed it, or dislike if you don't, and check out Crypto Rich from the links in the description of this video. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.